Good morning, Anna. Good morning. I hope you are well. This is your daughter. My name is Amma Manson. I like calling myself Amma Ghana. Nana, I would like to pen this to you directly. Nana, I have a few concerns. My brothers and sisters have been deliberating this for the last few weeks, and I think it's only right that we address you directly. Nana, I am a Ghanaian, proudly Ghanaian. You can't take Ghanaian out of my blood. I am Ghana. I like to add Ghana to my name. Everything which is progress for Ghana is something I am interested in. I am committed to the development of Ghana wherever I happen to be. Now, every time I talk about Ghana, you always get this from other people. But you left, but you escaped. Yes, that is true. Sometimes it's important to explain to people why we leave and why we escape. Let me get this on record whilst I'm addressing you, Nana. People like me, young ladies like me, escaped because we were looking for legitimate employment. And as we were looking for legitimate employment, it became apparent how susceptible we were going to be to sexual exploitation if we stayed. We did not want to be there. We did not want people to take advantage of us. We wanted to escape and go to other places, which allowed us to succeed without compromising our virtue. So we did. Do we have any regrets about that? I don't think so. Since we left, Nana, we have never forgotten home. We come regularly, we remit regularly, and recently I have attempted to do business in Ghana. Now, Nana, that is when I have actually come to understand the issues at home as deep-rooted and as deep-seated as they actually are. Nana, I am a young Ghanaian trying to bring Ghanaian branding onto premium merchandise. I live outside Ghana. I live in the United Arab Emirates, and actually, in fact, it is wonderful because it's a tax haven. The maximum tax I pay on anything is 5% VAT, and that only came in January 2018. Nana, I have shipped some bags to Ghana because I wanted Ghana to be my operational hub. Why did I make that decision? Because whilst I am operating, I will be employing Ghanaians. Whilst I am operating, I will be supporting Ghanaian industry. I will be making direct investment into the Ghanaian tourism industry. I will be helping young people learn how to market and to sell. I will be developing skills in communities. These merchandises work alongside my Ghana tours because I want people to come to Ghana and to experience premium quality craftsmanship with the Ghana brand. Now, Nana, since I made that decision to make Ghana my hub, I have to say my resolve has been tested. My resolve is being tested. My resolve is being challenged every minute of the time. Let me explain. I shipped a consignment to the United Arab Emirates where I live. Nana, since I shipped it to the United Arab Emirates, it cost me the equivalent using the highest exchange rate possible, 2,000 Ghana cedis to clear my bags and to bring them home. I made the I made the decision to send the same equivalent to Ghana because as a patriotic Ghanaian and as a Ghanaian who talks about Ghanaian progress, I wanted to participate in the development of Ghanaian progress. Nana, I sent my bags to Ghana. The bags arrived on the 10th or so of September. We are talking at the end of October, and if I'm lucky, the things will come out of port on Saturday. I will not go through the administrative challenges, but let's cut to the chase, and let me tell you what my actual beef is as a Ghanaian. It cost me 2,000 cedis to clear the same equivalent in the United Arab Emirates. Nana, it is costing me 15,000 Ghana cedis to clear the same thing in Ghana. Explain that to me. Please explain that to me. How is it possible that it cost me more to clear the goods in the ports of Ghana than to produce the goods elsewhere? Why did I even decide to produce elsewhere? The decision to produce elsewhere was the decider between either producing or not producing. I explored producing in Ghana. I faced a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of challenges, which were threatening to derail the whole project. And because I did not want to give up on the project, I decided to produce elsewhere. whilst I explore the bureaucracy, whilst I contend with the system, whilst I challenge the system, and whilst I make the system work. But I did not want to march. I wanted to move forward. I did not want to stay and wait and battle for 2 years before the operation kicked off. Nana, that's the reason why I looked elsewhere. Having looked elsewhere, I could operate elsewhere. Where I am, my home is a very easy place to operate from. But when I operate here, I will be employing Pakistanis, Indians, and other nationalities because those are the people who are here. When I operate here, I will be massaging the United Arab Emirates economy because I will be paying postage from here. I will be using courier services from here. I will be using sales agents from here. And I do not want to do that because Ghanaians are screaming for employment. The Ghanaian economy is screaming for cash injection. The Ghanaian economy is screaming for activity. And so, Nana, I have come home. Nana, since I have come home, having had to pay a whopping 15,000 Ghana cedis, and I did not clear 1 million of those bags, Nana, I cleared only 1,700 bags. 1,700. Please do the math. Divide 15,000 Ghana cedis by 1,500, Nana, and you will understand the extra expenditure added onto the product for the poor average person who wants to purchase from me. Nana, let me cut to the simple addition and subtraction of it. That extra 15,000 Ghana cedis is the decision between staying in business or not staying in business, Nana. It would allow people like me to stay in business, operate, or we run out of capital, which was very likely, which was at the point my reality, abandon it at port and lick our wounds and stay elsewhere. Don't come back home. Don't take it to Ghana is a very common sentiment among Ghanaians who live outside because of this thing at the port. Now, why does it cost 15,000 Ghana cedis to clear a bag, which cost me about $7, $8 to produce? Why, Nana? Why is the import duty so high? Nana, why is the bureaucracy so high? Why is it so complicated, so difficult to clear in our ports? Nana, why is it that a country like Togo is able to have a free port and a country like Ghana cannot have one? I am not saying we should have a free port, Nana. If we don't have a free port, we should have reasonable customs and as duties. This is beyond reasonable. This is unreasonable. This is a deal breaker for young entrepreneurs, for Ghanaians who want to do business, for Ghanaians who want to bring it home. It makes the argument to come home very difficult to sustain. If your skin is not thick, it is very difficult to sustain the pressures from elsewhere. It is difficult, Nana, for me to justify to my family and to justify to my children why I am choosing to pay 15,000 Ghana cedis extra to clear in Ghana when I could have done it where I am. It is very difficult to justify to anybody else why it has to go to Ghana. The reasons why it has to go to Ghana are fundamental. It's sentimental. I want Ghanaians to have businesses. Nana, when my bags come to Ghana, the clearing agent ate from his activity with me. Nana, the transport people from the port to my house would eat because of this activity. Nana, the sales people, the young people in Ghana who need activity, who are willing to sell, would benefit from my activity in Ghana. You know what, Nana? Even the bike riders, the dispatch riders will benefit from it because I will use their services. Nana, the postal services in Ghana will certainly benefit because I ship worldwide. I ship worldwide. When I came to Ghana, Nana, that is another thing we would discuss. The postal services in Ghana and the charges are also absolutely ridiculous. From all reasonable angles, it's very difficult, Nana, to justify this decision to operate at home. I am choosing to do it for sentimental reasons. I am choosing to do it because I want to put my mouth where I want to act where my mouth is. I talk Ghana, I talk about Ghana progress, and I am willing to commit. But Nana, sometimes it makes it absolutely impossible to sustain. Please, Nana, help us so bureaucracy at home does not kill the Ghanaian dream. Help us so bureaucracy at home, theft at the ports does not force us out of Ghana. Nana, help us so young people who want to go into business do not go bankrupt because they choose to operate from home. Nana, help us so the economy, which needs small and medium scale enterprises to boom, is able to benefit from our services because it is sustainable to come home. Nana, Ghana has to be a competitive location for business. That is the bottom line, and at the moment, it is not. I am not speaking from any political angle, Nana, because I do not subscribe to any political party in Ghana. I haven't lived in Ghana, I haven't voted in Ghana, so I am definitely not speaking from a political angle. I am speaking from a frustrated Ghanaian angle. I am speaking from a Ghanaian who wants to contribute, but is finding it difficult to do so because of systems in Ghana. Nana, that port needs to be looked at. You have many thieves in that port stealing in the name of Ghana. I will send you some names if you are interested. I have dealt with quite a few in the last few weeks. Nana, that port is full of thieves, but that is not the only problem. That port is also full of charges which should not be. Out of the 15,000, a significant amount will come to Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority through the Customs Excise and Preventive Service, I think they are still called, Nana. But I think the fees are astronomical. It is unjustifiable to pay something more than the production costs simply at the port. This is excluding my production costs. This is excluding my transport costs. And this will exclude other logistical costs when I get to Ghana. So Nana, the price of my bag when I operate from Ghana is going to be astronomical. It is going to be very difficult for the average citizen to purchase it. My capital is likely to lock up in those bags for a long time if I choose to operate from Ghana. And at some point, I have spoken to many Ghanaian businesses with all the goodwill in this world who want to do it in Ghana, who want to operate in Ghana. But when the decision comes, operate in Ghana or not operate at all, there is only one choice to be made. And it is a very sad reality. It has to change. Nana, some of us want to come back. There's a lot of Ghanaians who've lived elsewhere, who do businesses elsewhere, who would like to make Ghana our home, our hubs. But Nana, this makes it impossible to convince anybody else to come. It is not even sustainable for those of us who've come to Ghana. Help us, help each other to make life possible for ourselves and for our people. That was my rant about business in Ghana. Nana, the truth of the matter is Ghanaians are screaming, Ghanaians are yelling because Ghanaians are suffering. Is it all your fault? No. Is it long established? Yes. Are the reasons many? Yes. Are the reasons diverse? Yes. But Nana, we have to stop talking at some point and we need to look at practical solutions to this problem. Practical ways of managing this problem. We have emergencies in our country. Nana, I saw you on the Eastern Corridor Road. It was shameful to see how many V8s were on that road in the state in which it was. I was talking to other people who are not Ghanaians who asked me, Amma, so what is the common sense in this? Nana, I could not justify it. Why does your country keep purchasing V8s, expensive cars, only to destroy them on roads as embarrassing as the Eastern Corridor Road is? Nana, be honest about it. Were you comfortable on that road? No, you were not. You were only traveling that road for a simple exercise, but that is the reality of many Ghanaian businesses. People who operate in the hinterlands and need to bring their stuff to Accra, to Kumasi, to Sunyani, to Tamale for sales, depend on these roads, Nana, for commercial activities. Can you please address the president? Mens Dako, I am addressing the president. I am hoping to address the current president. That is why I am calling him Nana. You prefer Mr. President? We can do Mr. President. Mr. President, from your daughter to you. It is not just a politician who plies that road. It is not just for short-term visits that we ply that road. The number of young, vibrant Ghanaians who are losing their lives, who are carrying serious injuries from accidents on those roads, Mr. President, is not justifiable. The amount of commercial activity which is not happening because our roads are poor is not justifiable. It cannot be excused that the country would want to invest in certain luxuries when we have realities like this in our country. And I do not understand why we need a national cathedral when we don't have national roads. Nana, I cannot understand why we need a national cathedral when we don't have hospitals with beds. Nana, I cannot understand why we need a national cathedral when we have secondary school going age kids on floors. We have kids learning under trees, and even then they are lucky to have a tree. Nana, that is not justifiable. Nana, it is not justifiable to be spending money separating regions when there are women who don't have maternity facilities. It is not justifiable, Nana, Mr. President, to be building new cathedrals when women cannot have health care in their hour of need. Maternity is a life and death issue. We are losing many vibrant Ghanaian women because we don't have adequate healthcare services. In our country, Nana, malaria still kills. Mr. President, malaria still kills. Cholera still kills. And when people ask you why that is, it is difficult to explain because it's not explainable. It defies logic that in 2018, in a country whose president has his own private jet, in a country whose ministers, all 110 of them, have access to expensive high-end vehicles, but we don't have expensive high-end roads, Nana. Where I live, the distance between my current location and Abu Dhabi or Dubai is almost comparable to the distance between Accra and Kumasi. Nana, I am able to travel to Abu Dhabi 1 hour and 10 minutes flat on the clock. I am able to travel from here to Dubai 1.5 hours flat on the clock, staying within the speed limit. I don't fly, I drive. I am a woman, I am not a professional driver. Nana, I am able to go to Abu Dhabi, do my business in Abu Dhabi, continue to Dubai, do my business in Dubai, make stops in other places and return home, all within a working day. And sometimes there is enough time to go to school and pick my kids up. I am able to drop my kids up. Let me repeat that slowly. I take my kids to school and then I start my business, Nana. After I have dropped my kids at school at 7:30 in the morning, I am able to go to Abu Dhabi, conduct business in Abu Dhabi, stay in Abu Dhabi, finish my business in Abu Dhabi, drive from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. That is 1.5 hours as well. Do my business in Dubai, complete all those things, drive back to my current location, Nana, and pick my kids from school. When the infrastructure is good, women like me are able to do it all. When the infrastructure is good, even women who have children in schools are able to contribute to commercial activity. Nana, how many women would be able to drop their kids off in school in Accra, drive to Kumasi, do business in Kumasi, drive to another city equidistant, do business in that city, and return to Accra in time to pick their kids up? How many can do that in Ghana? And because that's not possible, those women have excluded themselves from commercial activity because, rightfully so, their children come first. And there are certain policies we need to look at as Ghanaians if we are serious about development the way we speak. There are certain things we need to change, Mr. President, if we really want to support the business that Ghana needs to develop. There are certain things we need to augment because what we currently have does not work. Mr. President, with all due respect. Mr. President, with all due respect, as a Ghanaian who wants to discuss priorities, our priorities currently are placed wrong. Mr. President, there are people like me who are willing and dedicated to educating the Ghanaian public. There are people like me who are willing and dedicated to bringing progress home. But Nana, we need your support. We need your policies to be friendly. We need a nurturing environment at home in order to make these efforts worth it. Individuals can take action, but when the policy is wrong, the action stands no chance of success. And there are many people who will testify to this. Many Ghanaians who will testify to this. Many Ghanaians resident in Ghana who will testify to this. Many Ghanaians resident elsewhere who will testify to this. If you haven't been to the port in Tema, Mr. President, I invite you to go visit it. It is one of the reasons why our economy is as bad as it is right now. We don't produce anything, we import everything. And when the duties and the expenditure at the airport is as astronomical as it currently is, it just does not work. You always say you want to help. There you go. I've given you one direct area where you can help, where the impact will be felt across industries in Ghana. I was very happy when I heard things at the port were going electronic. I cleared when it was not electronic. I have cleared when it is electronic. It has not made a dime of a difference. There are still many thieves who are able to cheat, who are able to swindle, who are able to manipulate the system, because when we went electronic, that was not adequate. We need monitoring systems. I have heard many Ghanaians who live abroad, who are working with IT systems, who understand how to help Ghana generate maximum revenue from what comes through the port, but they are not able to be heard because they do not have connections. Nana, we want progress for Ghanaians. We need progress for Ghanaians. I am very emotive in my speech because I have 2 children. I am a mother. My children were not born in Ghana, but I am doing everything I can to get those kids to reintegrate home. I have brought them elsewhere to train them elsewhere to return those skills to Ghana because we need it. And Nana, those kids, when they come home, they need to see logic. Even kids who live everywhere now in the 21st century need to see logic. I am asking you in the name of God, in the name of our emergencies, in the eyes of the priorities that I have explained here, that we devolve our resources to the places where it is most critically needed. That we do not make decisions on infrastructure which is luxurious. That we do not make decisions because we want to make political gain, because Ghana cannot afford it. In fact, if we are able to get some of these everyday things sorted, when the everyday Ghanaian is able to benefit from lower prices because there is less theft at the ports, we will all be hailing progress. The cedi and the problem with chasing the cedi to the dollar comes from some of these things. Commercial activity in Ghana is probably the only way to avert some of these things, and commercial activity in Ghana is becoming almost impossible when we have such astronomical charges at the port of entry. Please, if you haven't been, Mr. President, certainly do go have a look. I would also speak to you about the tourism industry, because that's an industry I think is redemption for Ghana. Mr. President, with all due respect, I don't think we have a strategy in place. I think that we have people who are not necessarily committed to the obvious things which could transform tourism in Ghana for the average Ghanaian. Somebody was telling me about Kenya. Kenya does not really export anything. Countries like Kenya and Tanzania are doing well, not because of additional natural resources, but it's because they've learned to maximize what they have, Mr. President. We need a tourism industry. There are many key players who are offering their services, and it is currently not being taken up for whatever reason. I will not even dare suggest what the reason is. But Mr. President, this morning, I just wanted to speak to you about priorities. I wanted to speak to you about my frustration as a young Ghanaian trying to enter business in Ghana. I am speaking to you from the frustration of a Ghanaian mother who is committed to building a legacy at home for my kids and children's children. I am frustrated with some of the news items I have heard this week, Nana. It is frustrating for me that in spite of the other serious priorities we have, that as Ghanaians we are talking about division of regions. Let me break it down for those who don't understand. Every new region would have a regional headquarters of everything. We will have a new district headquarters of everything. District offices require buildings, and we will have to devolve some of our limited resources which were already needed in other places to build. Now we cannot afford it. As sentimental as it is, as romantic as it is, we simply cannot afford the luxury. The division of the regions can come when our Eastern Corridor Road is done. The division of the regions can happen when we have beds in our hospitals for people who need it. The division of the regions and the building of the cathedral can come when the economy is stable, when the average Ghanaian is not screaming, when the average Ghanaian is not lamenting. The difficulty in living there. My mother, Nana, lives at home. My mother is a pensioner. My mother, like many other pensioners, are living in poverty, on the poverty line, because of some of these policies. Medication that they need are impossibly expensive to buy because of these duties. Treatment for certain diseases become difficult for ordinary Ghanaians to access when the tools and the medication required have been subjected to such charges. I don't know the exact charges in the pharmaceutical industry, Nana, but from the little experience I've had of other things at the port, it is something you need to look at. We will speak again. I will keep this short. I don't want to bore you, but Nana, if you know Mr. President, if you have any way of getting this to Mr. President, please do. Your citizens want to speak to you. Your citizens want you to hear us. Your citizens wish you well because Amagana needs you to succeed. Your citizens cannot sit and watch and wait to make decisions when your tenure is over. Your citizens want to impact what you do and to help make you more successful, not because of political gain, but because we have the well-being of Ghana at heart. Mr. President, I hope you have heard me. I shall be back with more. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining.